Welcome, my friends, to a tale of love and darkness, where the line between passion and peril is often blurred. In this story, we will follow two brothers as they search for love in the most unexpected of places. But be warned, for what they find may be more than they bargained for. So sit back, relax, and let us take you on a journey through the twisted corners of the human heart. And if you enjoy this tale, be sure to show your support for ArtbyTales by liking and subscribing to our channel for more haunting stories like this one. Two brothers in search of love, their journey taking them to the most likely of places, a bustling mall where they encounter a mysterious woman named Bianca. She was stunning, with full lips and piercing eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. The brothers fell into a heated argument over who would make the first move, but as they continued to ogle her from a distance, they failed to notice the way that people seemed to part in front of her as if in fear. Yet she had a regal air about her and moved with a confidence that drew them both in. Myles felt his heart race as he watched her from a distance. He took a deep breath, straightened his posture, and made his way towards her. As he approached, he could feel his palms start to sweat and his nerves start to kick in. He took a deep breath, looked her in the eyes, and introduced himself. "Hi there, I'm Myles," he said, extending his hand. Bianca turned to him with a small smile on her lips. "Hello, Myles," she said, taking his hand. "I'm Bianca." Myles felt a jolt of electricity run through his hand as she touched him. He couldn't help but feel drawn to her. They chatted for a few minutes, and as they spoke, Myles felt like he was the only person in the world. He didn't notice Marcus fuming in the background, his jealousy simmering just below the surface. After a few moments, Bianca excused herself, leaving Myles alone with his thoughts. He couldn't shake the feeling that he had just met someone truly special. As he watched her walk away, he knew that he had to see her again. And so, with a new sense of purpose, he set out to win her heart. But little do they know, their quest for love will lead them down a dark and treacherous path. One that will challenge their relationship and ultimately put their lives in danger. For in this tale, the search for love may come at a deadly cost. It was Myles and Bianca's first date, and he was nervous. He had picked out his best outfit, a sharp navy blue suit, and had spent hours rehearsing what he would say. He arrived at Bianca's address and was immediately taken aback by the beauty of her home. It was a sleek, modern building with floor-to-ceiling windows, and as he approached the door, he could see the city skyline stretching out behind it. Bianca greeted him with a warm smile, and he couldn't help but notice how stunning she looked in a simple black dress. She invited him in, and he couldn't help but gape at the stunning interior. The walls were adorned with art, the furniture was tasteful and modern, and he couldn't help but feel like he was in a palace. Bianca led him to the car and they drove to a cozy Italian restaurant. They were seated at a candlelit table, and the soft murmur of conversation and the aroma of freshly baked bread filled the air. They ordered a bottle of red wine and chatted about their interests, their families, and their lives. As the night went on, Myles found himself drawn to Bianca's intelligence, wit, and grace. He felt like he was under a spell, and he didn't want the night to end. They finished their meal and walked out into the cool night air, and Myles felt a sense of exhilaration and joy that he had never felt before. As he dropped Bianca off at her home, he knew that this was only the beginning of a beautiful journey. Little did he know that there was a darkness lurking within Bianca. She had secrets that she kept hidden, and a thirst that could never be quenched. But for now, Myles was blind to it all, lost in the spell of Bianca's beauty and charm. Myles arrived home late that night, still buzzing from the excitement of his date with Bianca. As he walked through the door, he found Marcus sitting on the couch, looking at his phone. Myles couldn't help but sense a strange energy from Marcus as they spoke. Marcus seemed angrier than usual and kept making snide comments about Bianca. "I can't believe you're falling for her act," Marcus said, his voice dripping with jealousy. "She's probably playing you like a fiddle." Myles was taken aback by Marcus's sudden shift in attitude. He couldn't understand why his brother was acting this way. "What's going on with you, man? Why are you acting like this?" "It's just, I don't know. I feel like she should be with me, you know. I mean, we have more in common, and she seems like she'd be into someone like me." Myles couldn't believe what he was hearing. "What are you talking about? She's with me, and I really like her. I think we have a connection." Marcus just shrugged. "Suit yourself, but don't say I didn't warn you. She's not like the other girls here," Myles murmured to his brother. "There's something special about her." As Myles and Bianca's relationship grew, Myles continued to see Bianca growing weaker and more exhausted with each passing day. At first, he thought it was just stress from work, but as the days went on, he realized something was seriously wrong. "Hey man, you don't look so good," Marcus said as he approached Myles in the kitchen. "What's been going on with you lately?" Myles went to the doctor, but they couldn't find anything wrong with him. Meanwhile, perhaps it was the way her laughter seemed to linger a little too long, or the subtle hints of arrogance that surfaced when she talked about herself. Or maybe it was the way she seemed to know just what to say to keep Myles under her spell. Despite his unease, Marcus tried to push his concerns aside and be happy for his brother. Myles became more and more exhausted with each encounter, his once vibrant energy slowly fading away. Marcus watched as his brother's health declined, feeling a growing sense of unease deep in his gut. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. One night, Marcus decided to take matters into his own hands. He set up a meeting with Bianca behind Myles's back, hoping to figure out what made her so special. As they talked, Marcus found himself surprisingly drawn to Bianca. She was beautiful and charming, and he couldn't help but be captivated by her. And when she leaned in to kiss him, he felt a rush of excitement he hadn't felt before. After that kiss, Marcus felt a strange sensation that he couldn't quite put his finger on. It was like a warning bell ringing in the back of his mind, telling him that something was wrong. He tried to shake off the feeling and focus on Bianca, but he couldn't ignore the nagging sense of unease. Suddenly, he saw her in a different light. He saw past her beauty and charm, and he saw something dark and dangerous lurking beneath the surface. He saw her true form, a succubus, a demon known for seducing and draining the life force out of their victims. Her eyes had turned a deep crimson, and her once warm smile had twisted into a sinister grin. Her skin had taken on a pale, almost translucent quality, and Marcus could see her veins pulsing with a dark energy. He realized that he had been foolish to trust her, and that he had unknowingly put his brother in grave danger. He tried to pull away, but her grip on him was like a vice. He felt her draining his life force, and he knew that he had to act fast. With all his strength, he pushed her away and ran, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew that he had to warn Myles before it was too late. Marcus took a deep breath and decided to tell Myles about what he had seen. "Myles, I have to tell you something about Bianca," he said, his voice shaky. "What is it?" Myles asked, noticing the serious tone in his brother's voice. "I saw her true form," Marcus said. "She's not human." Myles looked at him with a confused expression. "What are you talking about?" "Marcus, that's ridiculous." "I'm serious, Myles," Marcus insisted. "I took her out, and when we kissed I saw her. She's not what she seems." Myles shook his head in disbelief. "Marcus, you must be mistaken. You're just jealous of our relationship." "I'm not jealous, Myles," Marcus said, his voice rising. "I'm telling you the truth. You have to be careful around her." As soon as Marcus finishes his sentence, there is a sudden knock at the door. Marcus calls out to Bianca, "Come in," and demanding that she explain herself. Bianca's expression turns to one of fear, and she hesitates for a moment before looking directly at Myles and whispering, "It's all true." Myles is taken aback by Bianca's words, and he demands to know what she means. Marcus begins to explain that Bianca is not who she seems and that she is a succubus, a demon that preys on men by seducing them. Myles begins to notice some strange behaviors from her. Her eyes seem to glint unnaturally in the light, and he can feel an eerie energy emanating from her. Bianca's tone grew dark and foreboding, sending chills down Myles' spine. He had never heard her speak like this before, and he was starting to believe Marcus' claims about her true nature. Bianca looked at Myles, and her eyes seemed to glint in the dim light of the room. Her voice dripped with venom as she sneered at them. This could have gone down so easy and painless. But now, no, not now. "I grow tired of your games," she spat. "I am far too hungry to continue acting. You should have given in to me willingly when you had the chance. But now, it seems I must take matters into my own hands." Myles took a step back, fear creeping into his heart. He had no idea what Bianca was talking about, but he knew that something wasn't right. He turned to Marcus, who looked equally terrified, and they both realized that they had been playing with fire. Bianca's face twisted into a wicked smile, and she took a step closer to them. Myles and Marcus exchanged a horrified glance, and Myles felt his legs turn to jelly. "We didn't mean to," Marcus stammered. "We didn't know." Bianca chuckled darkly. "Ignorance is not an excuse, my dear Marcus." With that, Bianca lunged at them, her eyes blazing with hunger. Myles and Marcus tried to run, but it was too late. The last thing they heard was Bianca's wicked laughter as their life force was drained from their bodies. Days turned to weeks, and weeks turned to months. The once lively apartment now sat empty, bathed in the harsh light of day. A young man strolled past, his eye caught on the space. He sauntered into the real estate office and announced that he wanted to buy it. As he chatted amiably with the realtor, something about her seemed otherworldly. When he remarked on her beauty and asked her name, she gave him a sly smile and replied, "You can call me Bianca." Love can be a powerful and alluring force, but it's important to keep a clear head and listen to your intuition. Beware of those who seem too perfect, too enchanting, or too good to be true, as they may be hiding a dark and dangerous secret. Sometimes, the pursuit of love can lead down a treacherous path, and it's up to us to stay vigilant and protect ourselves from harm. If you, too, are drawn to the mysteries that lurk just beneath the surface, then follow ArtbyTales for more stories like this. Who knows what other secrets and dangers lie waiting in the shadows?